Well, good afternoon, everyone. And we did a change of command ceremony a little over a month ago out at the 174th Attack Wing, and it was a much smaller event. And I think we had like maybe 12 people in attendance. General Labarge and I were there, and so it's good to see. It's good to see a lot of airmen at socially distanced. I see everybody's got all their face masks on, all different colors and different designs. But it's always great to see airmen. So that ceremony was a little bit different because we were really just talking to a video, and so it's nice to see you all today. And thank you for everything you do for our Air Force and for the state of New York on a daily basis. So I can't thank you enough. And so, but good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the promotion ceremony for Colonel Mike Bank to Brigadier General and to witness the change of command at the 106 Rescue Wing. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all today. And Kim, Kylie, and Chris, I met you a few minutes ago. And Nikki, Colin, I didn't meet you yet, but Nikki, Colin, and Trevor, thanks for being with us here today. And Major General Tim Labarge, the commander of the New York Air National Guard, which I'm sure all of you know is the largest Air National Guard in the country. We also got Tom Owens, who is a well-known 106 former commander, Major General Tom Owens. He's the Air National Guard assistant to the commander of U.S. Global Strike Command, and he was telling us a few minutes about bombers, and so I thought that was kind of an interesting conversation. We have Command Chief Maureen Dooley with us. She's the Command Chief for the Air Guard. We also have Colonel Rob Donaldson, who is the Director of Staff for the Air Guard. Welcome to all the other wing leaders, to include the incoming Vice Commander, Colonel Weinberger, and to Command Chief Hewson. I hope everyone is healthy during this unprecedented period in our state and nation's history. As we conduct this change of command ceremony here today, the New York military forces, which include the New York Army, the Air National Guard, the Naval Militia, and the New York Guard, along with our civilian workforce, has more than 3,100 personnel on duty statewide helping to combat the coronavirus. Today, not everyone, but today marks 90 days of duty as we combat the coronavirus, and it appears that many of our personnel will be on through this August. A special shout out to Colonel Charlie Killian and his team at the 106 here, because I get to hear him almost on a daily basis talk about what the JTF-1 Long Island is doing here in the COVID fight. So Charlie, you and your team, thank you so much. We are also ready to respond to civil unrest if needed. You know, it's just tragic what we've seen happen in our country here the past 10 days or so. But thankfully, the violent looting, specifically in New York City, has subsided. So that's great news. But we have been prepared, and we are prepared. We have airmen from the 105th Air Wing in a standby status in case we need them to respond to civil unrest. Today, we conduct a hybrid promotion ceremony and change of command ceremony, partially more in person than the previous one I was talking about, partially in person and also virtually, so that we can maintain the required social distancing requirements. To Mike, I asked if you had a call sign. They said no. Is that right? Mike, I guess. Okay. Colonel Bank, congratulations on your promotion, soon-to-be promotion to Brigadier General, and for a successful command tour. You and your family have done a great job since April of 2016 when you assumed command of the 106 to maintain operational readiness of the wing, especially focused on combat operations and the fielding of 4 new HC-130J Combat King aircraft. The wing has grown under your leadership and mentorship. You have led the men and women of the 106 through tragedy and incredible loss, but also through renewal and great achievement. You have been a steady hand and a calming influence on the organization, and the 106 is better because of your efforts. You have done a great job, and we thank you for your dedicated leadership over the past 4 years. Because of your proven abilities to lead our nation's men and women, and because of your caring approach, I'm thrilled to have you join our team at Latham as a Brigadier General. Tim Labarge and I look forward to working with you and Kim as you start this next chapter of your Air Force career. To the incoming wing commander, they said your call sign is Fitz. Fitz, see, I'm an Army guy. We don't have call signs. But Fitz, Colonel Sean Fitzgerald, and your family, welcome to your new role as the senior leader of the 106. And I will tell you, it's a huge responsibility. The wing is authorized more than 1,050 airmen and must be ready for search and rescue operations both at home and abroad. As you and I discussed when General Labarge and I selected you for command of the 106, Other than airman safety, you have no higher priority than the assigned strength of your organization. General Bank has left the 106 in a great position, almost on the verge of 102% strength and ready to get up to 103 and 104% strength. You and your team must be laser focused on building the strength of the organization while maintaining operational and combat readiness, as you know all too well, and as you all know too well, ready for civil support missions. I know you're up to the challenge and congratulate you on your new assignment. Remember that the 106 Rescue Wing has a long, distinguished, and proud history. The base itself, named in honor of Colonel Francis Gabreski, America's top fighter pilot ace during World War II, who later commanded here, and your lineage also includes the first female commissioned officer in the Air National Guard, Norma Parsons, back in 1956. I'm so very pleased to play a small part in today's historic promotion ceremony and the wing change of command. I wish everyone the best and thank you all, every member of the New York Air National Guard, whether military or civilian, for everything you do to keep our state and nation safe. Thank you all.
Now we would like to have Major General Shields present Colonel Bank with the Legion of Merit Award. Colonel Michael W. Bank distinguished himself by exceptional meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 106 Rescue Wing, Francis S. Gabreski Airport, Westhampton Beach, New York, from 09 December 2015 to 05 June 2020. During this period, Colonel Bank commanded the wing through its most successful period in history, saving over 2,000 lives. Colonel Bank's superior leadership and command focus on mission excellence were instrumental in executing one of the longest overwater rescue missions in Air Force history that saved 2 critically injured patients aboard the civilian motor vessel Tamar, incapacitated and adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. He commanded the deployment of rescue forces responding less than 24 hours, conducting operations in the aftermath of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma, which resulted in the rescue of 1,934 personnel. Colonel Bank oversaw multiple mobilizations of airmen in support of Operation Inherent Resolve, providing coalition rescue support, liberating more than 10,000 square miles from the illegitimate Islamic State insurgency. Through his exemplary force management skills and foresight, Colonel Bank expertly guided the 106 Rescue Wing to new heights as part of the top 1% of all wings in the Air National Guard for manning and medical readiness. Finally, Colonel Bank led the 106 Rescue Wing's response to the COVID-19 pandemic for America's hardest hit in New York and Long Island, saving countless lives while providing critical virus testing and food distribution programs and establishing other vital support networks. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Bank reflect great credit upon himself, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. Colonel Bank is promoted to the grade of Brigadier General, United States Air Force, effective June 5th, 2020, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force.
It's a lot cooler.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I don't want to get off script because a lot of this is all in here too, but I'll promise I'll stick to the script. It's a lot cooler when I took command than the day I relinquished it to Colonel Fitzgerald. So it was a cool April morning. So, right now I was complaining earlier about the wind blowing through the hangar, and I had the doors shut, and that turned out to be a mistake. So I ended up cursing myself. So hopefully we could get a little more wind through here. It'd be nice. But I want to thank Major General Shields and Major General LaBarge, Major General Owens, Command Chief Dooley, and all distinguished guests, either in attendance or viewing, for taking part in today's change of command ceremony and promotion for the 106 Rescue Wing. What we're about to do here in a few short minutes, the passing of the wing guidon, is a visible transition of leadership rooted in military history. And I would argue that its meaning is much more personal than that. It's an opportunity to extend gratitude to the many that served and supported this wing's mission, a time to reflect on defining milestones over the past few years, and a glimpse into the future and what that holds from a new wing commander. Gratitude. I have so many to thank who supported this wing in my command. Without the support and love of my family and Kim, Kylie, and Chris, none of this would have been remotely possible. Kimmer, thanks for being my confidant, not allowing me to get too high or too low, or simply just to listen, and for all that you do. Love you. Kylie and Chris, so very proud of the young lady and the young man that you have become. You both have served alongside throughout your entire life, and I have learned a lot from both of you. Love you, and you guys are my rock. To my command team, Colonel Fitzgerald, Colonel Petchiak, Colonel Weinberger, Colonel Killian, Lieutenant Colonel Rush, Command Chief Hewson, whose support and mentorship helped me lead this wing. Thank you for reinforcing to our airmen that I am not flippantly making up guidance and holding them to arbitrary standards. Your leadership has taken us to new heights, and you've carved out some record-setting history for this team. It was a pleasure working with you, and I admire you, your knowledge, and your tremendous poise. To the airmen of the 106th, thank you for what you do day in and day out. There's not a mission without you. Over the past 4 years, your professionalism and at times sheer will have allowed all of us to set unprecedented standards for the combat search and rescue community. You are true leaders, and I am counting on you to take the next steps to continue that leadership as you progress throughout your careers. To the community in which we serve, you are tremendous. There is no doubt in my mind the pride you have in calling this great place home to the 106 Rescue Wing. The outpouring of support for the Jolly 5-1 tragedy, our deployments, and numerous storm responses have been nothing short of remarkable. Our relationship with you is the envy of the total force, and it provides the backdrop of what it truly means to be citizen soldiers. To all who are here and all watching in the remote telecast, the Joint Force Headquarters staff, fellow wing commanders, command chiefs, and all I have served with the past and the present, thank you, and it's been an honor to work with all of you. And lastly, I'm going to reach out to my mom and dad who couldn't be here today due to the travel, and they couldn't make the trip, obviously, under the circumstances. And I know they're going to be home watching this later on tonight, but I love them, and this thanks goes out to them as well. It's a solemn privilege to command a combat air wing during a period of war. 4 years ago, when I took command, we focused on three things: the beginnings of an aircraft conversion, a unit deployment to Iraq, and a capstone inspection, all occurring over the span of about 18 months. That's a big challenge, and we all worked hard to meet that challenge. However, the world is never a static place, and we answered the call on the MV Tamar, 3 hurricanes, Harvey, Irma, and Maria, too many nor'easters to count, a global pandemic that brought COVID-19 to our shores, and the loss of the crew of Jolly 5-1. We stood shoulder to shoulder and shared the pride of rescuing 2 sailors on the Tamar, to date the longest open ocean rescue ever accomplished by a guard and the most intricate medical protocols ever performed by the Guardian Angel community. The rescue of over 1,800 American citizens during Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. Hurricane Irma bore witness to the largest evacuation of American citizens ever performed by the Air National Guard, involving Puerto Rico, Kentucky, and New York. The delivery of our J-model HC-130s, our OLR HH-60s, continued mission-ready flying training and state support during the COVID response. We accomplished all of this while keeping laser-focused on yet another upcoming deployment. We also stood shoulder to shoulder and wept over the loss of our brothers, Jason Cooper, Michael Austin, and the crew of Jolly 5-1, Christopher Zanitas, Andy O'Keefe, Chris Raguso, Deshaun Briggs, Mark Weber, William Posh, and Carl Ennis. We consoled our airmen who lost parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, spouses, and other loved ones to COVID-19. Your resilience, pride, and sheer will to perform at the highest professional levels, the flexibility and the innovation to apply your skills and training to any requirement you are tasked with is nothing short of astounding. I am so grateful to be the one accepting this promotion, but make no mistake, I am 100% clear that this is the direct result of the efforts and performance of the men and women in this wing I am so proud and privileged to serve alongside. I made roots here. I will take all of these experiences with me on the journey of not only my career, but the rest of my life. When I came here 4 years ago, I told you that you were the face of today's operational reserve. It's up to you to take your leadership, innovation, and talents to shape rescue for 2030 and beyond, that others may live. My sincerest thanks to you and your families, always.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new commander of the 106 Rescue Wing, Colonel Sean Fitzgerald. Wing, at ease.
Major General Shields, Major General LaBarge, Major General Owens, Brigadier General Bank, Command Chief Dooley, Command Chief Hewson, family and friends and members of the 106th, both here in person and virtually, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Although we took extra precautions to deviate from the norm of a standard change of command by not having a formal wing formation, I promise to keep the age-old tradition that the incoming commander's remarks are brief. Nikki, Colin, and Trevor, at the risk of embarrassing you, I want to thank you for all of your love and support. Major Generals Shields and LaBarge, thank you for your trust and confidence to allow me the opportunity to lead the 106th. Major General Owens, your trust and confidence from your days here at the wing are very much appreciated. Brigadier General Bank, I'm indebted to you for your friendship, your mentorship, and your support. I know I would not be standing here today without it. Thank you. Members of the 106 Rescue Wing, thank you. Thank you for raising your right hand, taking an oath, and serving and defending our country and state. As a member of this wing, you are an integral part of a unit with a storied history and a very busy present. Even though our wing bared the brunt of the global pandemic, you continue to train for our federal mission. You supported the state by standing up a 300-man joint task force to support our Long Island neighbors with testing sites. You took the unenviable task of removing the deceased out of their homes in New York City, and you cared for hundreds of infected New Yorkers on ventilators in a New York City hospital. Our current actions are impressive, and our history even more so, including the 2,974 lives saved by this wing. It's certainly something to be proud of, but we must never forget our fellow airmen that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. I know I couldn't be more proud to have the honor to be your next commander, and it is my goal, along with your help, to maintain the pride and honor of this storied unit. As you have seen firsthand through your hard work, sweat, tears, and blood, the 106 is on speed dial to help out in any crisis, be it a hurricane, pandemic, overseas operational deployment, or domestic task that our civil leaders need executed. The calls will continue, and our job is to be ready with the answer. I'm confident that we will be. As we reflect with pride on our unit's accomplishments, we must also reflect on the unrest occurring in our country today. I'll close with the words of the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. On Wednesday, he was discussing the Air Force as a whole, but I'd like to echo his words for all wing members to hear. And I quote, "I don't have the answers, but I know there is no room for bigotry, hatred, or small-mindedness in our force, period. Every member of our team needs to know we have their back," end quote. That others may live. Thank you.
The symbolism of the yellow rose is to show friendship and a sign of welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Wing, hands up.